Come to me, my children. Follow the sound of my voice to receive thy blessings. Unburden yourself.
Ow! 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 Ow!
And welcome to the Church of Last Resort with the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll. The Church of Last Resort, where your prayers are heard, your sins forgiven, and no matter what you believe, you won't believe this shit. And now, the Reverend, the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. This includes anyone who may be joining us for the first time, wherever you may be and wherever you want to be, because you may not be where you want to be, yet there you are. And here I are in my office, where it is Sunday, May 31st, the 496th day of the Sex Offender Administration. It is 70 degrees and 0 humidity. But on the other side of this wall, it is 61 degrees with 1% humidity and a 100% chance that after 14 hours on planes and trains and automobiles and in airports, when my wife Amona gets home, she will not be in the mood for any hanky-panky. So if I want to get a little something, I'm going to have to wait till she falls asleep. Welcome to the Church of Last Resort. I am the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, PhD, DDS, ADHD, MCM, LIX. People have also called me the Racy Reverend, the Pervert Pastor, the Vile Vulgar Vicar of Ice, the Sexist Shepherd, the Missionary Man, the Minister of Mischief, the Dirty Deacon of Doggy Style, the Freaky Frisky Friar, the Ass Man Abbot, the Colored Cleric, the Booty Banging Brother, the Handsy High Priest, the Shameless Shaman, Father Fismus, the wicked I like to watch witness, the holy hoe, the divine dominating dominee, the depraved preacher, the tickle me theologian, the minister of making love, and the clergy of cunning conversation while eating coochie, and that nasty N-word. Good morning, Ann. That's right. Good morning. Yes, indeed. And happy Sunday to you too. Yes, indeed. Now, the point is that I come by many names and by many methods, but I don't come easy. I do not. No, sir. So, brothers and sisters, let us all begin. Let's all begin in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor. Can I get a fuck? Yeah. Fuck yeah! That's what I'm talking about. That's right. This is the only place, the only church where you get the fucks and the yayas. That's right. There are churches out there where you can get the fucks. Yeah, you can go in there and go like, fuck, how long is he going to be talking? Fuck. Is that sister's hat so big? Why can't that sister wear a smaller hat so I can see what's going on? Fuck. Why can't that baby stop crying? You don't got that here. No, indeed. That's right. We got the fucks and the yeahs. That's right. It's like, yeah. I can see the Reverend. There's no obstructions. Yeah, ain't no babies crying in the background unless it's mine. And if I ain't wanted to cry in the background, I shouldn't have had it in the background. Oh my Lord, hold on. I got to cough. Whoa, a big cough. Hold on, please. I don't know where that came from. Probably from like right about here, maybe here. I think my collar's a little tight. Brothers and sisters, it is time for our opening prayer, sponsored by GD Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist. If you have an opening that needs to be filled by a humorist, GD Fenderson has your opening needs. That's right. Now, if you or someone you know is in need of a prayer by me, the Dr. Reverend, the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, then please send all your requests for prayers, healings, forgiveness, or any such communique to me at Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll at gmail.com. And please remember to spell roll with an E on the end, not at the beginning, at the end Otherwise, another, and I don't know which one, but some other jelly roll may get your request, and you won't get your blessing. Now, today I have one request, and it's from Spotify. They request that I update my listening, my channel thing. I don't listen to Spotify, so I'm not going to update it. But I thank them for at least sending me some mail. My email gets lonely. That's right. Now, for our disclaimer, while all prayers are answered, all prayers are heard, not all prayers are answered when we want them to be. Some loopholes and restrictions may apply. Please bow your head unless you're driving your car or your significant other. And if that is the case, just close your eyes like this. Like this. See that? See how I did that one? Now, you don't have to squinch up your mouth like I do. That's because I've had so much Botox that when I close my eyes, my mouth does that. It's the Botox. Technically, it's Brotox. It's my own brand. I don't use the Botox. I use the Brotox. It's specifically designed for the brothers. That's right. So I got the Brotox. But if that's the case, just close your eyes, see, and let Jesus do the driving while we pray. But do not let go of the wheel until you know Jesus has control, full control, not just the steering, but the gas and the brakes as well. Otherwise, that's right. Then you could very well be next up on the obituaries. That's right. Who do we have next? It was some fool who let go of the steering wheel before Jesus had full control. Thank you, Johnny. And what will he get? He'll get an old, whatever that furniture from Samsonite. He gets Samsonite luggage. That's right. 4A Hill, something Hill. I'll think of it later. Biloxi Blues Hill, Hill Street Blues. I don't know. Dear Lord, please bless Brother Grizz Chapman. Grizz Chapman, best known for his supporting role as Grizz on 30 Rock, has died. He was 52. His cause of death is SUDS. With that being said, Chapman did struggle with kidney disease, kidney disease, and hypertension. Chapman died peacefully in his sleep while he was dreaming of playing other roles that he could play as a 7-foot-tall actor, other than just like a bodyguard or entourage guy. Chapman said in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, quote, "I mean, why can't a 7-foot guy play a doctor? Why can't I be a teacher? Why can't I be a football coach? Why can't I be a cab driver?" Well, I'm going to answer that last one before I finish the quote. You ain't a cab driver because you're 7 feet tall. Nobody's going to want to sit behind your ass, okay? So that's why. Why can't I be a cab driver? That's why. Anything else than that, okay? And then he says, I can cry. I can do those things that they think the big guys can't do. So just give us a chance. See, close quote. Now, that's somebody who's okay, I'm going to address that later. But he's bitching, okay? At least he's got a part. And I'm going to tell you now, if you're an actor and they have to give the character the same name as you have, that's because they don't trust that you're going to answer to your character's name if they call you by the character's name. So if his character's name was, let's say, I don't know, Tom, they go, Tom. And Grizz would be like, Tom, Grizz. That was your cue. What? Tom is your cue. Not Grizz? No, Tom. That's why. So now, for all 7 seasons, Chapman appeared on 30 Rock. He played Griswold, a bodyguard and member of Tracy Jordan, portrayed by Tracy Morgan's entourage. Chapman also appeared in Tom McCarthy's Spotlight, 13 Reasons Why, the 2014 film The Cobbler, alongside Adam Sandler and Steve Buscemi. Additional acting credits include Money Monster, Life of the Party, Blue Bloods, The Blacklist, and Common Sense Police. Now, I don't know why he's upset. Oh, I think I do know why he's upset. Remember, Bubba Smith? That was one big motherfucker. He got work as an actor, okay? I can't remember Hightower. Okay, he got work. And that's what Grizz is thinking. He's like, well, Bubba got work. Maybe you're not that great of an actor, even though you're 7 foot tall. Look, rest in peace, Grizz. A 7 foot tall black man who didn't play any sport. You could have played a unicorn in any number of movies. Can I get a coffin with extra legroom? Dear Lord, please bless Brother Rob Bass. Rob Bass, rap artist best known for the 1980s hip-hop classic It Takes Two, has died. He was 59. His cause of death was the cancer. Bass died surrounded by family just 4 days after his 59th birthday. So I'm suspecting that he got cancer from the candles. Otherwise, he seemed fine before the birthday, and all of a sudden he has a birthday, 59 candles, and then he dies. Well, belated wishes and gifts are too late. If you didn't send them on his birthday, he didn't get it later. So there you have it. Okay, now I'm gonna. The obituary says the musician. Okay, he didn't play any instruments. Well, I'll get to that. So Bass, whose real name was Robert Ginyard, like Inyard and Vineyard, created the hit song It Takes Two with his musical partner DJ Easy Rock, and it was credited with helping to take hip hop to mainstream success in dance clubs and the pop charts. Other Rob Bass songs include Joy and Pain, 1988, Get on the Dance Floor, 1989, Break of Dawn, 1994, and he had like many more songs that I wouldn't recognize, and if I heard them, or if you played them for me, or if you heard them, if I heard you playing them for me. Rest in peace, Rob. You could not play an instrument. You were the AI of sampling. That's right, before there was AI. Can I get a borrowed beat? That's right. Dear Lord, please bless Brother Neil Doniher. Neil Doniher, former Melbourne football coach, has died. He was 65. His cause of death was motor neuron disease. Motor neuron disease, MND, is a progressive neurological condition that it damages motor neurons. Okay, it leads to muscle weakness, paralysis, and difficulties with movement, speech, swallowing, and breathing. The exact same symptoms that I had when I met Patti LaBelle, except I walked away with 3 autographed books. Australian football great Neil Doniher will be honored with a state funeral at MCG, Madison Cubed Garden. I'm sorry, my producer is telling me that it's Melbourne Cricket Ground, and not to be a dick. Sorry about that. I'm lucky that I even knew that Melbourne was in New Zealand, West New Zealand. Okay, my producer says it's in Australia, and stop being a dick. Rest in peace, Neil. You're already down under, so it won't take much to bury you the rest of the way. Can I get some time added to regulation? Lord have mercy. Dear Lord, please bless Brother Toshifumi Suzuki. That's right. Toshifumi Suzuki, the Japanese businessman credited with creating the 7-Eleven convenience chain global retail empire, has died. He was 93. His cause of death was heart failure. You should never eat where you work. Just telling you right now. Suzuki founded the Japanese unit that operates the seemingly ubiquitous 7-Eleven Konbini, Conbini. That's right, Konbini outlets where busy people can hop in, grab a sandwiches, rice balls, and little tiny balls. Like you get a rice and the balls are about this big. Drinks, chips, and other meals on the run, use ATMs, pay utility bills, and copy documents. Now, actually, do remember back when 7-Elevens did have copying machines. I used to use them when I was working on the road. I would go to 7-Eleven and use their copying machine sometimes. And it was like 15, 20 cents a copy. It was ridiculous. It was, but it was convenient because there was like a 7-Eleven near everybody. Okay. Now, so they created convenient store with inconvenient prices. That was their business model. And that was before Trump fucked up the economy. I can't even imagine how much a 7-Eleven food costs now. Lord have mercy. Rest in peace, Toshifumi. I bitched about your high prices, but at 3 a.m., I was paying your ransom. That's right. Can I get a big gulp and a bigger pot to pee in? Dear Lord, please bless Brother Sonny Rollins. Sonny Rollins, the saxophone colossus, has died. He was 95. His cause of death was SUDS. That's right. Another one. Sudden undisclosed disease syndrome. The tenor saxophonist was schooled by bebop legends as a prize sideman and became their peer as a formidable leader, improviser, and composer. From his early days as a teen phenom to his more measured solo work and experimentation with free jazz, Rollins was revered for his improvisational skill. Like, okay, now I'm gonna tell you now. If you asked me to do that again, I couldn't, because see, it's improvised. That's all improvised means. It means I don't know what I just did and I can't do it again. Don't ask me. It's Latin. He was one of the last living greats of the bebop era, along with John Coltrane and Charlie Parker. Now, the funny thing is, I had heard of John Coltrane and Charlie Parker. I had not heard of Rollins. That's right. One of the most influential saxophonists of his time. Now, rock fans, that'd be people who listen to rock fans got a dose of his music with the Rolling Stones' 1981 album Tattoo You, which features Rollins, his wistful sax solo on the ballad Waiting on a Friend. Okay, now he devised that solo after watching Mick Jagger dance. All right, now I watched the video so that I could see what Sonny saw. And what I saw was how much Mick Jagger looked like Don Knotts. Okay, so I don't know. And I listened to that solo. That solo does not sound like Mick Jagger moves. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Not the way it does not. Okay, it does not sound like Mick Jagger dances. It does not. Nope, not even a little bit. Despite not Mick Jagger's, not Don Knotts, but Sonny Rollins. Despite Sonny Rollins' enduring success, Rollins was never quite satisfied with his art, occasionally taking lengthy hiatuses from playing and consistently adopting eclectic new styles. I think there was another young guitarist who did that. I think it was Jeff Beck, who was so fucking good. He just like, I don't feel like playing today. I'm gonna work on my car. I don't feel like playing this year. I'm gonna work on my car. Then he comes back and has like this whole new way of playing guitar and built a new guitar and all this other shit. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay. Rollins always referred to himself as, quote, a work in progress, close quote, saying he wasn't one of those artists who settled into one way of playing. That's for damn sure. Because after this, after that last night, I went and listened to a bit of his things, quite a bit, going back to 1956. 50, yeah, I think that was the oldest thing. And then he did adapt his style over the years. I give him credit for that. So rest in peace, Sonny. I didn't know how good you were because I didn't know that it was you on all those records. Sometimes I thought it was John Coltrane. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'd pick up a record that says that's Coltrane, and it wasn't. It was Rollins. Like, that's Charlie Parker. Nope, it was Rollins. I didn't know. That's Cabell. Nope, that was Rollins. So, can I get a rain check? That's from his 1956 album Work Time. That's right. Indeed. Dear Lord, please bless Brother Clarence B. Jones. That's right. Clarence B. Jones. Clarence B. Jones, a top civil rights activist and lawyer who helped write part of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. celebrated I Have a Dream speech, has died. He was 95. Okay. Jones was one of the organizers of the 1963 March on Washington, where King developed the epic speech and helped push for passage of the Voting Rights Act 2 years later, which lifted legal barriers preventing African Americans from voting. And he lived just long enough to see all that hard work be laid to waste by people like, let's say Clarence Thomas and Tim Scott. That's right. Some of the people who benefited from it. Rest in peace, Clarence. Talking about Jones, not Thomas. I hope that this sleep allows you longer lasting dreams and better dreams, satisfying dreams. Can I get a dream? Dear Lord, please bless Brother Howard Stern. Howard Stern? Stern? No, I'm sorry. Howard Storm. Howard Storm. Yes. Howard Storm. I don't know why I said Stern. Because I didn't think he died. The director, Howard Stern, the director who called the shots for such sitcoms as Rhoda, Mork and Mindy, Laverne and Shirley, and Valerie, has died. He was 94. Storm died of natural causes at his home in Beverly Hills. Storm ditched a career as a stand-up comic to become a director because he needed a career that would pay. A member of Lucille Ball's Desilu workshop in the late 1950s, the native New Yorker and son of a vaudevillian learned a lot about filmmaking from Woody Allen, another stand-up comedian turned director turned lech. This is when Clarence worked alongside Woody Allen on Bananas in 1971, and in Everything You Always Want to Know About Sex But Was Afraid to Ask in 72. And one of the things he was afraid to ask is, what happens if you fall in love with your stepdaughter? He was afraid to ask that question. Fortunately for Storm's career, he didn't learn how to break up a family from Woody Allen. That's right. So rest in peace, Howard. Stand-up comedy never missed you. Didn't even know you were there. Can I get a surf pro like it never even happened? Dear Lord, please bless Brother Claude Lemieux. Claude Lemieux, four-time Stanley Cup winner who was a playoff MVP in 1995 and was involved in a controversial hit in 1996, has died. Now, that hit was not a song. That hit was, he knocked a motherfucker out. That's right. he was 60. His cause of death was SIDS, self-induced death syndrome. That's right. Or maybe we should play that little ideation thing on the bottom, because we're going to be talking about self-ideation. See if I can I find it? I can't. If you can find it, yeah, that's it. Play that, because this guy self-ideated himself. Yes. Okay. His cause of death was self-induced death syndrome. So if you right, see the red number scrolling across the bottom, if you're feeling the urge to self-induce, call for help. There you go. Now, his method of choice is not listed, nor if there were other attempts before he got it right. But if you have questions, just call that number there. It's scrolling across the bottom. All right. If you have any questions about that stuff, you can call them and ask them. Lemieux had carried the torch into Montreal's Bell Center before Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals on May 25th. And then he died. Rest in peace, Claude. You got to carry the torch before you snuffed out your own flame. Can I get a drown, stir, drown, and feel? My Smokey the Bear fans know what I'm talking about. That's right. Oh, yeah. That's right. Drown, stir, drown, feel. That's right. That's how you put out a fire. And finally, Lord, please bless the entire behind-the-scenes staff at Mind Dog TV. They are truly doing your work, helping to spread your word throughout the wordosphere. They could be anywhere today, but they're here wishing they were anywhere today. And that ought to count for something. Mind Dog.
That's garbage.
Well, they are wishing they were anywhere today. That's true. That is. Oh, okay. Yes, and there's a private note in the chat, and yes, I'm aware of. Yes, I'm like aware. Yeah. Yep. I know that, and I should have said something last week, or this week, or tomorrow, but we'll find out. At any rate, our behind the scenes people who I was just reading a private chat from are behind the scenes doing behind the scenes stuff, and if they did it in the front of the scenes, you go like, whoa, don't show us that. That's a back scene thing. We don't want to see that. That's right. They call back scene sounds like vaccine for a reason. Some people are anti-vaxxers, yes. But at any rate, go to minddogtv.com/merch, the place to go to get all of your gear for whatever holidays coming up next. Let me see. Juneteenth, I think, is next. Well, Father's Day, right? Father's Day, and then Juneteenth. So go to minddogtv.com/merch to get your Juneteenth and Father's Day gifts in time for that person in your life that needs it. That's right. So now, brothers and sisters, listen, it's time. It is that time. Time to let us have a bump for the Lord. Brought to you by Bump in a Bottle. That's right. Wine, just like Jesus used to make, straight from our vineyards to your innards. That's right. Yes. You want bump for the Lord. Bang a dong. Yes, indeed. Now, brothers and sisters, in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck? Yeah. Fuck yeah! That's right. Now, brothers and sisters, before I go on to our segment of Looking for God in All the Wrong Places, where we're going to talk about Paul Simon's song, So Beautiful or So What, we want people out there who have a talent, a trade, something to market or promote, We'll let them know how they can get on our flagship program, Coffee with the Dog. Go ahead, Sister Curly Hair So Bright.
Comedians, musicians, songwriters, filmmakers, authors, and podcasters. Coffee with the Dog is booking for the
spring and summer
now. Get free publicity and hone your interview skill in a fun and safe setting. Coffee with the Dog is a live radio, live stream podcast based in New York that airs daily Monday to Friday 9 a.m. to 11 o'clock in syndication on iHeartRadio, as well as video streaming platforms like YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and many other platforms. Guests usually come on remotely via StreamYard, like Zoom but easier, although occasionally we do in-studio interviews. The morning show focuses mainly on comedians and musicians, and they have interviewed many top names and classic celebrities such as Robert Klein, Mike Binder, Eddie Brill, Doug Stanhope, Steve Byrne, Paul Provenza, Jeff Altman, and many, many others. For booking, go to minddogtv.com/booking.
Thank you, Sister Curly Hair So Bright. She's here every week, and gentlemen, ladies, she's single. That's right. So, brothers and sisters, today in our segment, Looking for God in All the Wrong Places, we're going to look at the lyrics to So Beautiful or So What by Paul Simon. Now, I realize that we have done a Paul Simon song before, and I've forgotten that I'd done that until after I committed to doing this one. But that's okay. That's okay. This is a totally different type of song. I think last time we did Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Now, if you listen to this one, it's from the album So Beautiful or So What from 2011. This song has a totally different sound than, I love the guitar work. It's I like it. I can't describe it. Let's just say you're going to hear it and go like, yeah, okay. Yeah, and if you're a guitarist, you're going to go like, damn, because it sounds like something anybody could have come up with. It really does. It sounds like something that you just be playing around and you come up with. Only if you played around like Paul Simon, you probably would have. I'm just wondering why it took him so long to come up with that, kind of thing, that sound, 2011. Or maybe he did before and I just didn't know. At any rate, So Beautiful or So What by Paul Simon is a reflective and contemplative song that explores the complexities of life, human choices, and the search for meaning. Okay, the lyrics touch upon several key themes, like emotions and stuff like that. So here we go. I'm gonna make a chicken gumbo, toss some sausage in the pot. I'm gonna flavor it with okra, cayenne pepper to make it hot. I know life is what we make of it. So beautiful or so what? Okay. The song obviously begins with, now I'm going to say Paul, but I don't think the I in this song is Paul every time. And I'll tell you that a little bit later. I think it's a different protagonist for each part. It's like this protagonist is making okra. And then the next protagonist is doing his thing. And I think each protagonist is a different person. And they're not all Paul. So I'm just going to say the protagonist in this verse is going to make some chicken gumbo. Okay. Now, chicken gumbo, or gumbo, is a dish known for rich flavors and all kinds of ways of doing it. I mean, tons of variety. There's like a variety of ways of making gumbo. Okay. Now, there are going to be some things that's going to be like in every gumbo, I think. I don't know. I don't know if I've had gumbo. If I did, I didn't like it because I don't like okra. But that's beside the point. Okay. But here, cooking serves as a metaphor for life itself, emphasizing that life is what we make of it. Okay. The inclusion. Okay. I know okra is a thickener. And when I say I don't like okra, I don't mean that I just don't like it. Okay. I don't like the way it feels. It like, It just feels mushy and too much mush for the amount of I don't know. I just don't like it. But I'm gonna try not to make faces when I say okra. And so the inclusion of okra and cayenne pepper suggests the idea that life can be both sweet and spicy, with moments of pleasure and challenges. Now, I did not come up with that sweet part because I don't know that okra is sweet. Okay, I'm just copying what they said about okra. I don't know that it's sweet. I just know that it's used as a thickener, and I know I don't like it. Now, the recurring phrase, so beautiful or so what, is a central theme. And we're going to hear it a lot in this song, okay? Um, and now, basically, life is, beautiful or so what? So beautiful or so what? Now, you can work at life to make it beautiful, or you can let it make you and just see what happens. So what? It continues. Again, this is the next protagonist, not necessarily Paul. I don't, like I said, I've given up on the idea that this is, when it says, I'm going to tell my kids, or I don't think that he's that I. I think each time it's a different I. So the protagonist, this time the song goes like this. It continues. I'm going to tell my kids a bedtime story, a play without a plot. Will it have a happy ending? Maybe yeah, maybe not. I tell them life is what you make of it. So beautiful, or so what? So beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, or so what? Um, Now, in this case here, the protagonist, whoever it is telling bedtime stories to his children, and he's highlighting the idea that life, again, life can be a story without a fixed plot or a guaranteed happy ending. Okay, and that can be. Life is a story without a fixed plot or a guaranteed happy ending, and this is the beauty of life. Okay, separate from the story, because when you're telling a story that someone else has written for you, it has been laid out. Okay, that is like destiny. It's already laid out, and if you flip to the back, you can flip to the back page to see how it's going to end. That story is more like destiny. You open, you read it there. And if you do it the next time, it's going to be the same thing. Okay. Now, when you tell a story, okay, that's as you make up as you go along, that is more like life. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're going to say until you said it. Yeah, it's based on experiences. So you're not going to talk about something that you don't know you can talk about. In other words, you're not going to start talking about, let's say, I don't know, space aliens, unless you've had some kind of experience, something where they're about a space alien. You're not just going, well, then you might. You know something? That's where inventions come from, making shit up. Inventions, necessity is the mother of invention. So maybe you'll make up a story like that. But the point is, in this thing, he's telling stories to the children, and he doesn't know how they're going to end. Okay, and that's just like life. It's like, yeah, is it going to be happy? Is it going to be sad? I don't know. We're going to find it when we get there. But I'm telling you, children, that you have a choice. Okay, you can make life what you want it to be. And as parents, that's one of the most important things we can teach our kids is that they have power, they have choice. Okay, even though when they're young, they feel powerless because they can't even stay up as late as they want to, or watch what they want to. Well, it depends on the parents. Some parents just don't give a fuck. It's like, you go to bed at 4 a.m. if you want to. I'm not waking you up for school. Fine. So be it. Now, like I say, so this part reflects the unpredictability of life's journey and the importance of embracing its uncertainty. That's right. And now this next part here, again, it's a different I. I think it's a different I. I'm proclaiming it's a different I. You'll find out in a minute. And why I don't think it's Paul. This verse is the main reason why I'm convinced that each I is not Paul and each I is different. Are you ready? Okay, here's the next verse. I'm just a raindrop in a bucket. I'm a coin dropped in a slot. I am an empty house on Weed Street, W-E-E-D Street, across the road from a vacant lot. You know life is what you make of it, so beautiful or so what. Now, this is why I don't think that this is the actual Paul, okay? And it's a different I each time, okay? I'm going to skip to the second verse about being on Weed Street. There is not a Weed Street in New York, okay? There's a Weed Street in Chicago and a few other places, but Paul was raised in New York. That's where he met Garfunkel. He was raised, I think, in Queens, and he lives in New York to this today. He still lives in New York. There is not a Weed Street in New York, but hear me out. Since weed has been decriminalized in New York, there are streets where there are dispensaries like lined up. You can't throw a dead cat without hitting a dispensary. That could be a weed street. Okay, but now I'm going to take you back to the top of this. I'm going to read it again. I'm just a raindrop in a bucket. All right, now a raindrop in a bucket, a raindrop compared to the bucket is insignificant. Okay, insignificant. But if I were to take just one drop of water and throw it on you, you'd be like, all right. But if I took a whole bucket of raindrops and threw it on you, I'd be baptizing you. See the difference? One drop of water, you're just going like this. But a bunch of drops together, baptism. There we go. So it's an insignificant by itself, but together, when we combine with other raindrops, we're not so insignificant. We are forced to be reckoned with. Okay. Now, the next line says a coin dropped in the slot. Now, some people are thinking he's comparing the raindrop in a bucket to a coin in a slot. I'm thinking, what kind of slot? Is this the slot for a slot machine? Or is he putting a coin in a vending machine? If you're putting a coin in a slot machine, yes, that coin becomes insignificant and goes into like what could be like thousands of other coins that you put a coin in a slot and nothing fucking happens except for a momentary thrill as you do this with your hand. Okay, you do this, and you get a momentary rush. You say, "What's it going to happen? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?" Like life, what am I going to get? What's going to get? What am I going to get? What am I going to get? What am I going to get? And on the other hand, you put it in a vending machine, you know what you're going to get. Like if it's New York, if it's a parking meter, you're going to get 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. If it's a gumball machine, you're probably going to get a gumball or two. Or if it's one of those little machines where you get like a ball like this, okay, you're going to get a little ball like this. So it depends on what type of slot he put the coin in as to what type of result he's going to get. So it may not be so unpredictable. Like I said, if you put it in a slot machine, it's kind of unpredictable. It's very unpredictable. But if you put it in a vending machine, you're putting it in with an expected result, and it's going to almost always be that result, as long as the machine's working right. Now, as far as him being an empty house on Weed Street, okay, since Weed Street doesn't technically exist, except for maybe in a commerce sense, he says, I'm an empty house. Okay, that's an empty vessel. That's it's like I have no purpose. Because an empty house is not a home. Okay? A house does not become a home until people live in it. Okay? House is just a building. Empty. People move into it, it's a home. Now, some of you people are being like really, really technical and going like, yeah, but there are insects living in there. It's their home. They don't pay rent. They don't pay mortgage. And guess what? If nobody's living in a house, It's either going to get sold to someone else or it's going to get torn down. It's not going to stay like that forever, regardless of how many insects call it home. So stop fucking with me. So he says, I'm an empty house. No one's there. He's not a home. It doesn't have an attachment to it. He's just an empty house on Weed Street. Okay? Then he says he's across the road from a vacant lot. Okay? That's even more wasteful. So not only is he not productive, the lot across the street from him is not productive. It's like the whole fucking neighborhood is not productive. Now, because when I read that, I'm gonna tell you now, I hate to do this. I hate ministers that yank out one or two verses of the Bible to prove a point and they don't read the whole story. But I'm going to do that because the rest of that story is just like those the verses I'm thinking about. Okay? Like I said, for most people, the empty house on Weed Street conveys a sense of smallness and insignificance in the grand scheme of things. And I say, nay, nay. Okay? Now, there's a couple of Bible verses that this reminds me of, like the empty house, the empty vacant lot. Okay. Where's my, okay. I'm going to get the good book involved in here real quick. Good book. In Genesis 1:28, what is commanded of people? Be fruitful and multiply. That's right. Be fruitful. Be fruitful. Okay. Now, a lot of people think it says let's have sex and have babies. Okay. It also means to be productive. Okay. People think it means to be reproductive. And I'm thinking it also means to be productive. Okay. Because if you're going to have kids, you're going to have to feed them and you're going to have to be productive anyway. So do something. Basically, it's saying do something with this gift. Okay. The other thing it reminds me of is the vanity of toil. Okay, where's that? Ecclesiastes 2:18-26. All right. Now, the vanity of toil, that's talking about when you labor in vain. Okay, it's like I'm not going to mention anybody by name, but I knew a young man who was always busy and not getting a damn thing done. You say to him, did you do this? He go like, no, I was busy doing such and such. But that's not what you're paid to do. That wasn't your responsibility. You were asked to cut the grass. And instead you're telling me that you fixed your Sega game? No. See, and that's, even though he was toiling, yes, he was working, he was trying to fix his Sega game. He was toiling in vain because the thing that he needed to do to be productive was to mow the fucking grass. That's the vanity of toil. Yes, he was laboring, but it was in vain. Okay. Now, according to Matthew 3:10, the Lord will take the axe to the roots of a tree that bears no fruit. Okay. And that's what I'm getting back to, where he says, I'm an empty house on Weed Street across from a vacant lot. Things that do not produce will be gotten rid of, plain and simple. Now, that vacant lot, yeah, maybe someone will come along and build a house on it or build something else. But if no one builds anything on it, guess what? Nature will. Nature will put plants and animals and trees, but nothing will remain nothing forever. Got that? Yeah. I'm glad you did, because don't ask me to say it again. That was improvised. Whew. Yeah, I couldn't do it again. Thanks. Now I know what Rollins was doing. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm a jazz musician. I just do it with my mouth. Okay. Now, the next line is, ain't it strange the way we're ignorant, how we seek out bad advice, how we jigger it and figure it, mistaking value for the price, and play a game with time and love, oh, like a pair of rolling dice. So beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, so what? Now, the first two lines, ain't it strange the way we're ignorant, how we seek out bad advice, brings to mind how at times when we know what needs to be done, but it seems a little hard or the payoff isn't good enough. So we ask someone what they would do, and that is what we do because it's either easier or what we want to do in the first place, as opposed to what we should have been doing, what we want to do, or the payoff seems greater. I'm going to make this a little more specific, a little more concrete. So in case you don't understand what I'm saying, I know a young man who fancies himself as a comedian. I'm not going to mention Brian by name. That'd be wrong. Every week he shows up at an open mic and spews the same premise as he's had for over a year. Not a joke, not a bit. It's a premise. He has a premise, and he spews this premise all the time. Okay, and instead, and he's been doing it for over a year. Over a year, he's had this premise, and instead, matter of fact, probably been 2 years. And instead of missing a few mics and doing the hard work of rewriting, he recants the same premise, but louder, because he can't hear that it's not funny at normal volume like the rest of us. The rest of us can hear it at a normal volume. No, it's not funny. So he's got to yell it so loud at every place so that he can hear it. But it's not funny still. He's not doing hard work. He could be doing he could be putting in the work to make it funny, but he doesn't. It's not productive. Okay. Now, oh, how he jigger it and figure it, mistaking value for the price. Okay. Now, there's at one of the mics, there's a group of people who are there every week. There's 4 girls that are always there, and sometimes they bring their friends. Sometimes there's 8 of them, but it's 4 girls. They're like the center of this little group, and they're there at the open mic every week, every time that mic is there. And they laugh at his premise because his premise is about eating coochie. And he always starts out saying, "Men have got to eat more coochie." Well, he doesn't say coochie. I'm saying coochie because I'm a minister, and I don't say things like pussy and fuck and stuff like that unless I'm paid. All right. So I got to keep my rating. So at any rate, he does this thing, and the girls think it's funny, and those 4 girls laugh, and everybody else by this time is going like, we know what he's going to say. It's not funny. He needs to work on this. He needs to develop it if he's going to go with this premise. Okay. He's talking about eating coochie. And what he should do is bite the bullet and swallow his pride and make his premise a joke or a bit instead of a bit of shit. He finds value of being seen on stage. See, that's just it. His value is that he's seen on stage and those 4 girls laugh. That's where he gets his value. But the true price, what he's paying, is that everybody that sees him sees that he's not getting funnier. Okay? He values those 4 laughs, but the price is that everybody sees he's not funny. That's what I'm talking about between the value and the price. Well, that's what he's talking about. Now, play a game with time and love. Oh, like a pair of rolling dice. You ever, when you were younger, not you, me, when you were younger, you ever turned down a date with a really nice person because you know your friends would be more impressed with the asshole? Maybe the asshole is cuter. Maybe the asshole is richer. Maybe the asshole has family money, Then after a few months, you see that nice person that you turned down with someone else, and that nice person is treating them the way you wanted to be treated all along. Not the way you're being treated by the asshole, but your friends were more impressed would be more impressed with the asshole than the nice guy, because the nice guy may just be average. The nice person may just be average looking. The nice person may just have a regular car. The nice person may just be getting by, but they had a good home and they know how to treat the person right. You ever had that happen? No, me either. Me either. But it must have happened to someone, otherwise I wouldn't know that story. That's who I think that verse is for. I think that verse is for people who play a game with time and love, like a pair of rolling dice. There's like, okay, you combine that with the jiggering and the figuring and the other stuff. This is what I come up with. Your results may differ. They'd be wrong, but they may differ. The song continues, and this is a total different. I mean, it's like, I don't know if they added this verse last, like, we need one more verse. He goes, I got one. Because the other three verses start off with I am, or I do, I did, I. This one is not about him at all. Here's the verse. There were 4 men on the balcony overlooking the parking lot, pointing at a figure in the distance. Dr. King has just been shot. I see. And the siren's long melody singing Savior pass me not. All right. This verse is totally unlike any of the other 3 verses. First of all, it doesn't start with I'm reading, I'm doing, I'm cooking, I'm this. No. This one is 4 people. Okay. The only thing this thing has in common with the other things is that there's a parking lot. But that parking lot actually wasn't vacant. It had cars in it, and they were looking at the building on the other side where the shot came from. Okay. Now, aside from the history, I don't see much to interpret there, except for the last 2 lines. Okay. The last 2 lines. Okay. Like I said, this song takes a poignant turn when it references the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's a historical event. But then it goes into the sirens. Let me see. I got to look at it again. The siren song melody singing Savior, pass me not. Now, there's 2 in literature. I guess there'll be the sirens will be like the siren song, the things that are, you hear the sirens and it makes you crash or into the cliffs or something like that. In this case, the siren song, the sirens, let's say is symbolic of help is on the way. Okay. If you're in the real world, and you have, there's a mishap, and you hear the sirens, you know help is coming. Okay. Can I hang out a little bit longer? Hang on, help is on the way. You know, if the person's bleeding, it's like, stay with me, help is on the way. Okay. In a spiritual sense, if you're clinging on to your sanity, if you're clinging on to what makes sense, barely, and you hear the siren, you know help is on the way. And it may give you strength. Okay. Now it says siren's long melody because it doesn't just whoop and there. It starts off faint in the distance. Whoop, 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 and then it gets louder. Whoop, 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 until help gets there. And it's like, God damn, I'm here. Turn off the siren. You found me. Good God. And it's saying the siren's melody is singing, Savior, pass me not. Now, if you're in the real world, Savior is EMTs. Don't pass me, or police or fire. Don't pass me. But if this is a spiritual aspect, the Savior, okay, we're talking about the Son of Man. So in this song, whether the Savior is the Son, whether the Savior is the man or Son of Man, you're saying, stay here and help me. Now, I could read it the way it was written, and I'm not going to because I had a stupid ass joke at the end of it. There was a part I was actually going to read what AI wrote. AI had put a synopsis of that thing, and it was so fucking stupid. And I was going to read that, and I didn't. But now I can't tell that joke. So fuck it. I'm running out of time anyway. So this is the last of the song. This is the last verse, which I actually think is the refrain. Yeah, we've heard it before. And ain't it strange the way we're take 4. And ain't it strange the way we were ignorant, how we seek out bad advice, how we jigger it and figure it, mistaking value for the price, and play a game with the time and love, or like a pair of rolling dice. So beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful. You notice he doesn't end it with the or what, which has been at every other verse. It's been so beautiful or what. Now he's pretty much saying life is beautiful. He's saying take charge, make life beautiful. Okay. Not the or what, not letting it happen. So perhaps in this song, he's decided that he's going to take charge. He's going to make life beautiful. And it's not going to be the option of or what. So beautiful, so what? It's just so beautiful. He's made that decision. And I guess he's hoping that we all make the same decision to make life beautiful through love and meaningful relationships. Because that's what really matters. I'm going to thank you all. First of all, I hope for those of you who found us, I appreciate it. Appreciate you. I'm not going to mention GD by name, but when he created the bucket, he didn't put it on the other YouTube channel. He put it just on the Reverend's, and did not. I don't know if it was oversight or what it was, because there's 2 up there, but there's not the right 2. At any rate, so those of you who took the time, the extra effort to find us, we appreciate it. We thank you, and you'll hear more about it during the week if you join us for Coffee with the Dog, because I'm sure that Matt's going to ask GD about it, and by then GD will have time to think of an excuse for what happened or an explanation. We'll see if he has an excuse or an explanation. So before I close, I want to thank those of you who have subscribed to my fledgling YouTube channel. And actually, the answer is the number 0. Okay, I haven't picked up a new subscriber, but that's okay. Also invite you to go to gigsalad.com and check out GD Fenderson the next time you need to hire a comedian for a private event in the Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, DC, Delaware area, or even West Virginia, because that's pretty close, and even in parts of New York or New Jersey, that's close enough as well. On behalf of the Church of Last Resort, on behalf of the Church of Last Resort and the entire royal family, my wife Amona, who is in transit, she is on a plane between, no, she's not on a, yes, she's landing in Chicago, where she has like an 8-hour layover. I kid you fucking not. An 8-hour layover. I told her that I could drive to Chicago in 10 hours and get her and bring her home. I could have just not done the show and just drove to Chicago and picked her up and had her back home by now. Oh, actually, no, that's a lie. But then I would miss my great aunt's birthday. My great aunt is turning like 98 years old today, and it's her birthday. So, okay, I take all that back. But she's got an 8-hour layover at the airport. What the fuck are you going to do at an 8-hour? I don't know. I just hope she doesn't kill somebody. I hope her battery lasts on her phone. I hope she finds good food and good lodging. I don't know. Damn, 8 hours. That's a full-time job. That's a day. That's a day's work. She's spending a whole day's work at an airport and not getting paid. It's almost like being TSA, isn't it? All right. On behalf of the Church of Last Resort, the entire Rowe family, my wife Ramona, my kids Cinnamon and Jelly Jr., our cat Tootsie, our dog Stop Dropping, I wish you safe travels, and I hope you will join us next week at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on My Dog TV and everywhere that our word is heard. In the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck yeah? Fuck yeah! Thank you all.